So today might be a little bit different. Sun's kind of out. It's a little bit of a nicer day today, so I figured, I would try to just kind of let's talk about some different things today than usual. Recently, I've been trying to keep up with certain stuff, man. Whether you're a person of faith or not, or whatever you really believe in, I do think that sometimes some of that faith will help you, especially depending on what you have going on in life or what you're going through. So, I've been looking at different actions around life, things that I've been doing, maybe things that I did in the past, trying to understand why certain pathways were followed the way they were, at least for me. Why did I make certain choices, or why couldn't I stop making certain choices? That to me is probably one of the most important, due to the fact that through life, especially in my career, I've helped a lot of people saving lives, right? And I've said that before, but when it comes to your own saving, you really can't save yourself. You can only guide yourself to where you should be. Regardless of what you think or what kind of religious aspect you have, they talk about, being saved, by Jesus is the only way for certain things, right? And let's say that's not even on the table for you. You're not really there yet, but you just kind of want to understand some things. That to me is probably one of the most important aspects, is having that heart open or having the soul open. For me, the way I lived, it was pretty wretched for a while. I thought that I was doing good by so many people, but I was really blinded by my own dissatisfaction in what was going on in my life, the path I was on, the goals I had, really making sure that I was piling on goals to get rid of insecurities, right? So as you achieve a goal every day, or let's say you did 2 goals in a day, you felt like that would help you with insecurities that you had. You thought that, well, every time I achieve something, it'll get rid of this. Maybe you had a low self-esteem, so you doing something helped you feel better about yourself or feel better about what was going on in your life, when really that's a false thing, maybe a false reality that you created to make it look like you were doing better. To the outside world, you were doing great. Inside, you were not. You were having trouble, you were struggling, you just kind of didn't know which route you wanted to go in life. And instead of asking for help or maybe admitting your loss, I think that is very important, is admitting you're lost. Hey, I know that the path I'm supposed to be on is this, but I'm lost. I cannot find my way. I keep just kind of treading water. You're not really gaining anything. You feel like you're in quicksand. You take a step, you get deeper. You take a step, you get deeper. You think you're getting out and you get deeper. Those types of thought process, or ways that you think you need to manage the hardship in front of you by just, well, let me keep doing the same thing. That same thing got you into the point where you were having trouble, right? A lot of the time we think, especially in the culture I came from, it was a lot of independency, right? So if you wanted to get out of a certain environment, you didn't want to deal drugs, you didn't want to, shoot people, you didn't want to become a rapper. That was really the route. If you didn't do sports, that's kind of the route in the culture that you saw the most. College was always there, but you really didn't understand, right? So when you look at the choices that you had to make, you really think to yourself, well, I could have went down every single one of those pathways, right? And you use people around you to try to judge what your future could be. And I think that when you do that, you cause a false reality, right? So as you you pound through life and you think that you're independent and you can make these choices and it'll give you this outcome, you start to look around and you notice that the outcome that you're seeing in other people is less desirable for what you would want from life, right? But you think that you can be the difference. You think that if you follow that same path, you can do it differently. And that's just never the case. If you're not living life with a good heart and making good decisions and not doing people wrong, it's always going to catch up to you, man. It's always going to create an idea or a time in your life either to plant the seed of an idea of like, something's wrong and you keep doing it and it just grows up until it just really takes over and you start to feel super depressed, man, because you're lost, because you're living wrong, but you continue to do it thinking you can beat it. So the way I look at things and what I have noticed recently, and I saw a video talking about this, was the idea of the guy really kind of said, hey, I thought I was strong enough to beat the devil. I thought I was strong enough to beat the demons that were around me. That's not really the case, right? So I've been trying to look at different scriptures, and that's why I got this for me today, just to kind of talk a little bit about some things, because if you look at things that kind of guide you for the future, utilizing past things that you may have done or decisions or ways that you viewed things, sometimes hindsight is 20/20, and I get that. The decisions that you made are the decisions that you made. That's it. The decisions you made are the decisions you made. Mistakes you made were made. You can't take it back. You can't change it, right? You can only change how you react to similar situations in the future. So if people have left you because you did them wrong, you can only really do better in the future. You can't really take back what you did. You can fix how you are in the future. If people see that you aren't the same person and you've done better and they want to come back around for you, great. But remember, certain people in your life or certain actions in your life are really just demons and the devil in disguise every single time. If you have to force it, then you probably shouldn't do it, right? You know that you don't feel really good. You start to get depressed. So you hit up a girl because you think that a sexual escapade with them is going to make you feel better. It might in that short term. Yes, it might in that short term. It might make you feel better. But in the long run, it's really not. And you're going to get more depressed, right? You get that dopamine release. You feel better for about 5 minutes. And then you start to really on that roller coaster. Each time you come up, you just get deeper and deeper and deeper, right? You think that if you go and do those, you're doing something right in that immediate time because you feel better in that immediate time. You start to realize, though, that as you go forward, it takes more of those times. It's kind of like a drug addict with the opioids that kind of get on top of those endings, those nerve endings and those receptors, and you need more and more and more because it just takes place of those things and it kind of fills it up. And now you need more to continue to squeeze it in, and you're never going to get there. You get a tolerance, right? You also get a tolerance for sinning in your life. And believe me, man, I'm just as guilty. Even if you didn't understand, ignorance is no excuse. You still need to recognize and then make changes. Apologize if it's an apology needed, but don't. If you make the decision, you made the decision. Be better in the future. If you keep making repetition on bad decisions, then that's your fault for trending in the wrong way, right? So back to that video. So, he's talking about not being able to beat demons or the devil himself. And he said, man, like I really tried my best. And then that was it. I had nothing left. I wasn't able to win that battle. I was not able to continue moving forward. I lost that battle. I had to reach out. So I'm going to read this. And like I said, I don't always bring this in all the time, but I sometimes loosely talk about it. But I did think this was interesting. So in Romans 16, we'll start at 17, all right? But it's 20 that just says it. But it's, I urge you, brothers and sisters, to watch out for those who cause divisions and put obstacles in your way that are contrary to the teaching you have learned. Keep away from them. For such people are not serving our Lord Christ, but their own appetites. By smooth talk and flattery, they deceive the minds of naive people. Everyone has heard about your obedience, so I rejoice because of you. But I want you to be wise about what is good and innocent about what is evil. And remember, the God of peace will soon crush Satan under your feet. The grace of our Lord Jesus be with you. What that really, to me, and what I've kind of looked up is, you yourself cannot beat the demons and devils all the time. You can live like you're supposed to, the best you can, but you cannot defeat them yourself. It is impossible. Why do you think whenever you start to live better, you get steps up, and then all of a sudden you notice that things creep back into your life? Urges, people, you start to think, maybe I missed that. Yeah. As you do better, the grasp of all the demons from your past, all the skeletons, the devil, Satan, whatever you want to call it, it's going to try to bring you back, man. As you live badly, you're rewarded from bad behaviors with short-term feelings. If you live the right way, you may not be rewarded that moment with an instantaneous reward, but you're going to get the reward that is longer lasting. If you cheat on your girl every day, and infidelity is probably the one thing I can really try to approach the easiest topic for you guys. If you cheat on your girl right now, you're going to feel good in that moment for that exact moment that you are creating that space with another person. You're going to feel better in that moment. As soon as it's over, you're done. Because all those right feelings that you know inside of you, they're all torturing you, man. They're, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. But you sat there and you continued to ride that way, man. So over and over and over, you create that. You know that it doesn't feel right, yet you do it because it's easy. It's easy to grasp you back. But imagine that every time somebody messages you, all these people from your past, let's say they're people who are a drag on you, use you for money. Every time they message you, you got a little bit of a, well, maybe this, no, nothing. You need to understand that you have to make the right choices. If somebody messages you and you should not be talking to them, you need to either block them, delete their number and block it, or change your phone number, whatever. Find a way to completely erase that memory. You can remember it in some fashion, but the immediate memory right in front of you that gives you the availability to unblock them, message them back. Oh, it's only one message. What's a hey back? Nah, man. That hey turns to when you coming over. That hey turns to I'm going to have infidelity with my wife or my girlfriend, my family. Man, you got kids running around the house that you love in every way, and yet you're going to sit there and do them wrong. You're breaking their trust. They trust that you are going to be faithful to your girl. That's my dad. That's my mom, right? Well, whoever watches it. You got to be better and understand that you can't win it yourself. You got a girl next to you, hug up on her, man. Tell her something's wrong. If you got a dude next to you, or it's your friend, or you're a girl and you got a guy, hey, I'm feeling defeated. Just say it. I'm feeling defeated. And then, if you believe in a faith, that faith is what's going to get you there. That faith is what's going to finish it. You can set up the blueprint for defeating it, absolutely. We all can do something like that. We all can follow a blueprint, right? But the last portion of it is something that you can't achieve yourself. Reach out. But if you're reaching out, you got to know that you got to stick true to that. You got to stick true to living like that. So I think that's important to recognize that if you continue to do the bad things, you will never achieve what you want to achieve. No matter what motivational speaker you watch, no matter who you watch on YouTube, TikTok, man, Instagram, whatever, you're never really going to achieve that life. A lot of people who have gone to a high standard or made it in a certain fashion like that understood what it took to get there. Significant sacrifice. Imagine you went from being able to message 15 people a day to maybe nobody. Maybe you're on your own. And all you have is this and your faith. In whatever it is that you have faith in, that's all you have. And if you have to lean on that, you have to believe that you can do that. If you don't believe, you're never going to follow it. You're not. You're going to fall back into the same trap. Sometimes they say you can slow down and you'll get there. Nah, man. You got to say to yourself, I'm done. Whatever this decision is, I'm done. I'm not going to do it anymore no matter what. I'm not going to bring myself to that no matter how badly I feel like I want to do that. If you want to watch porn and you want to, as soon as you know you're about to, no, I'm done. And just say you're done. Just say you're done. You're going to be depressed about it. You're going to be down about it because you're making a conscious decision to end a demon's grip on you. You have to do it. If you want to be better, you have to do better. I know that we've seen it 1,000 times, man. If you want to be better, you have to do better. So I hope that every single one of you, man, is going to continue to do better every single day. And I hope maybe somebody gets something from this, because I know it helps me talking to you guys, and I will continue to do that because it helps me in my mental health journeys. And I hope that it helps somebody along the way as a blueprint for how they can maybe live life and go on the right path, man, so they don't struggle every day. Maybe they get a little bit of a relief. That's what it's meant to do. So I appreciate every one of you guys, man. Stay up.